Eddie Hearn is saying that he is apparently interested, or, well, in his words, would love to make Luis Ortiz versus Dillian Whyte for December 22nd. Dillian Whyte on Twitter here, responding to a tweet from Boxing Scene, said, yeah, we can go on December 22nd regarding this Luis Ortiz fight. Now, the question is Dillian Whyte serious about making this Luis Ortiz fight on December 22nd, or is this a negotiation tactic? Because negotiations for the Chisora rematch have hit a wall at the moment, seemingly, with both guys being very stubborn and not wanting to budge on their demands. So, is this just a way of trying to smoke Derek Chisora out by threatening to fight somebody else on that date? Or is Dillian Whyte serious and genuine, and his promoter Eddie Hearn, about making the Luis Ortiz fight? There's somewhat of a debate that has broken out in the replies to Dillian Whyte's tweet. Some people saying, oh, this is pay-per-view worthy, or this person says arguably pay-per-view worthy, Dillian Whyte versus Ortiz. And other people say, no, it's not, etc., etc. Well, of course it is pay-per-view worthy, because Dillian Whyte is now a pay-per-view fighter. It doesn't mean it will do as good numbers on pay-per-view as, let's say, his Joseph Parker fight did, because the British public were familiar with Joseph Parker because of the fact that he fought Anthony Joshua. But it is still pay-per-view worthy, and it will almost certainly go on. Well, it would have to go on pay-per-view, because Dillian Whyte would want to be paid a lot of money to fight somebody as dangerous as Luis Ortiz, and rightly so at this point in his career. He's on the verge of a heavyweight title shot. He's ranked very highly in all the sanctioning bodies. So to fight a Luis Ortiz, which would be a WBC eliminator, he's going to want to get paid well. And the only way to pay him the kind of money he's going to want is to put it on pay-per-view. So it's a pay-per-view fight. Whether you like it or not, it's a pay-per-view fight. Would it do as good a numbers as Whyte versus Parker? I don't know. Perhaps not, because of the fact that the British public are not as familiar with Ortiz as they were with Parker. But you also have to bear in mind that Dillian Whyte's market value has been steadily rising because of the performances he's been putting in. Dillian Whyte has been giving boxing fans value for money the past few times he's fought. In fact, most of the time that he's fought, he's been giving the fans value for money, okay? But particularly his last two fights, the spectacular knockout of Lucas Brown and the seesaw back and forth trading knockdowns action with Joseph Parker. This goes a long way with the fans. When they pay their money, they remember, wow, we went to that Dillian Whyte show and it was an amazing show. Yeah, it wasn't just an amazing fight between Whyte and Parker. The show was amazing. You remember that? You remember the undercard with Chisora knocking out Takam, Dave Allen knocking out Nick Webb? It was a memorable card altogether. So given those memories, I think people will come out and support Dillian Whyte, even against Luis Ortiz, somebody who the British fans are not as familiar with. He has fought in the UK, obviously, against Dave Allen, but they're not as familiar with him as they were with Parker. Be that as it may, yeah, it's a pay-per-view fight, long story short. Would it do as much buys as a Chisora rematch? Probably not. But as long as Dillian Whyte gets certain guarantees in terms of a purse figure, I wouldn't put it past him taking the fight at all. Dillian Whyte is a brave man. This narrative out there, mainly pushed by Wilder fanatics, that Dillian Whyte is somehow scared, and Dillian Whyte is not the kind of person to be getting scared. I mean, I'm sure he feels nerves, but this is a natural-born warrior. If you think Dillian Whyte is the scared type, then you've miscalculated in a massive way. Dillian Whyte is a natural-born warrior. He's not the scared type. The only person who Dillian Whyte has had any apprehension, in my opinion, of stepping in the ring with is Anthony Joshua for the rematch. Now, he's seemingly ready mentally for the rematch now, But over the past couple years, when he's had the opportunity for the rematch, he's been saying, look, I'm trying to build myself back up and I'm trying to be a star in my own right. But that's the only, and that's somebody who he's already fought and he had no problem fighting first time around, who knocked him out. But other than that, Dillian Whyte hasn't shown, to me at least, any apprehension of fighting anybody. He called out Luis Ortiz when Ortiz was with Matchroom. The fights that he's turned down, like, for example, the Pulev fight, yeah, he turned it down. Was he scared of Pulev? Or did he have a much better opportunity against Joseph Parker in a more high-profile fight, in a fight that was in the UK rather than Bulgaria, in a fight where he was getting way more money? People forget, against Kubrat Pulev, he was only going to get something like 25% of the purse or 20%. Crazy. So it was either that or take on Joseph Parker in a pay-per-view where he's going to get what? Over $1 million? I don't know exactly what his purse was, but I'm guessing that before tax and everything, he got paid more than £1 million against Joseph Parker. It's a no-brainer, all right? But as far as who Dillian Whyte is willing to step in the ring with and trade blows with, Dillian Whyte ain't scared of nobody. No, not even Ortiz. He called out Ortiz. He called out Povetkin. Remember that? Come on. So, in this instance, though, Dillian Whyte has to make a business decision. And will the business decision be to hold out for the Chisora fight and just use this as a negotiating tactic? Or is he going to take yet another gamble and fight Luis Ortiz? If he does, if he fights Ortiz, first of all, I want an apology from half of these, or more than half of these Wilder fanboys, acting as though Dillian Whyte would never take the fight. Because he don't have to take this fight, by the way. He can just wait until April and probably take on Joshua. You don't have to take this fight right now. If he even, let's never mind get into whether he beats Ortiz or not. Even if he just takes this fight, which he doesn't have to take, all of these Wilder fanboys who've been coming out their mouth saying that Dillian Whyte is avoiding this, they need to give their heads a shake. They will have been exposed for how little they know about boxing. Yeah, how little they know about a character like Dillian Whyte. They would have been exposed if he even takes the fight, never mind winning it. If he then goes on to win it, well, that's a whole different situation, isn't it? That then kind of exposes Deontay Wilder. If Dillian Whyte goes in there and manages to beat Luis Ortiz and does so convincingly, that don't look good for Wilder. Particularly given the fact that Wilder has turned down a Dillian Whyte fight several times for big money, for career high money. Let me know what you guys feel in the comment section below. Is Dillian Whyte just using Luis Ortiz as a negotiating tactic to try and smoke Derek Chisora out? Or is he serious about doing it on December 22nd with King Kong? Pause. All right. Let me know how you feel in the comments, people. It's happening. I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.